Try now, period. Sorry, guys, comma, I was just firing up my laptop, period.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Guy, how are you?
I'm not hearing you, Justin. I wonder why that is. Let me just see. I might have muted my laptop.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Just had to
Okay.
adjust my settings here. Okay, so we have everybody except, oh, there's Joey. And I think we were just waiting on Alex now.
Hello.
Hey, Angela. Good morning. Thanks
morning.
for getting up so early. I feel bad that you have to always be the early riser where you are.
Well,
Really?
good news. I have news this morning. So, meaning news broke this morning, so I have work to do. So I'm awake.
Oh, okay.
All good.
All right. I think Alex said he was going to be on this call, right? Let me just double check the latest WhatsApp messages. Okay. I'd like to wait for him before we get started. I'll just send him a message. You. He might just be a few minutes late. Hey, while we're waiting for Alex, if you'll just indulge me for a moment, I just want to add something to my notes here. I've just been working on the script for the opening part of the slideshow, and I want to do a little test run of that this morning and see if I'm running too long or what.
I don't think we'll be able to determine if you're running too long, Guy, until each of us do ours to see where we need to edit or whatever. And
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I just, if I'm running like 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes or something to cover the territory that I thought I would cover, I'll know that I have a problem. You know what I mean?
shoot, where'd we go?
I just have,
Here we go.
oops. I'm also going to set it up so people can share screens if they need to. Just give me a minute, guys. I just got 2 more slides to write. It'll just take me a second and then I'll be in great shape.
Well, guys, working on that, has anybody else had the opportunity? Have you kind of to do a little trial run for yourself or not?
Kind of, sort of. I haven't
Same.
timed it. I didn't have the time to go through and time it and see exactly what I'm gonna say, but I kind of have my notes, and I think mine's a little long, so I'll have to see how I can cut it down.
Me too. I had to cut mine down.
And that's where I'm going with all of this. I did mine, and I'm pretty comfortable with where mine's at, but it was 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. So
Wow.
that's what as I was alluding to a little bit earlier, Guy. Obviously each of us have to be able to get our parts in.
Yeah.
So I think we need to sort of maybe start from the bottom and build it backwards. Let's look at each, and like, I'm ready for people to edit mine.
Yes, I'm on my conference call. I can't talk now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Joey. But I cut down my
Just
slide.
hold on 1 sec. I got to tell the guys I need to break. Guys, I just got a call from my wife. I need to just take this call. It'll just be a couple of seconds, okay? I don't know what it is, but she knows I'm on this call, so it must be important.
Okay,
Okay.
Keep talking.
maybe mute yourself,
All right, hold on.
Guy.
Yeah, I think mine was a little bit over 2. And so I cut down some slides and I'm just going to highlight some things to get to 2 minutes, Joey.
Mhm.
You know what? There's a Service Ontario right beside the coffee shop here in
But I don't
Sandridge.
know if, I don't know if we want to cut the beginning part and make it shorter. But anyway, I can get my part to 2 minutes and I can speak pretty quickly. So I'm not worried about.
Well, no, I guess I'm more concerned, not so much about speaking quickly for everybody as much as we need to get
getting the content.
information out that we need to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like last night I added a lot to my slides because there was a lot of feedback from the last meeting that we had. So I was like, oh my God, I have a lot of work to do.
I am going to give one thing. So Justin, I had a lot of feedback too, and I ended up pulling a couple things that were recommended because it just didn't make sense to add it in.
Excuse me.
Like I changed them all, but then I had like 7 slides and then I like had to move 2 slides down. I was like, there's too many slides here to do realistically. So maybe we just do our highlights and then either that or just keep, I don't know, like I kind of pulled out a couple things recommended, like, oh, we could do this or could do this or could do this. And I was like, well, we're not doing it. So I'm just going to talk about what we're doing.
Right.
So
Right.
whatever was recommended to you, I think I kind of made the executive decision that I just need to stay focused on what was we're actually talking about, because 2 minutes is a pretty short amount of time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think
I don't know if that
makes
helps you,
sense.
but I kind of did that yesterday.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, the one thing that I really haven't had a chance to expand on is the soil regeneration. But I mean, I could just say like one sentence about that. I mean, it's not like a big thing, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes to get through.
And then are we for sure recording tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
Okay, let's.
I don't think so, Angela. Just to be honest with you, I'm not sure and where people are going to be, if people are going to be ready for that or not.
Yeah, like the reason why I wanted to reschedule from today to tomorrow was just because there was a lot to squeeze in that time frame. But since we're here now, I'm okay with not meeting tomorrow. I mean, whatever we had originally scheduled, we can still run with that, I think.
Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back on. It was just we bought a second car, and Vanessa was reminding me today's the last day to go in and show the certification to the registry office, and I don't have it on me, so it's a big pain in the ass. But anyway, you've now got my attention. All right, so
we were just discussing among ourselves, Guy, that at least the 3 of us to this point, what we have is longer than the 2.5 minutes that we had been talking about.
yeah.
And at least my suggestion is that and I'm certainly willing to start. I'd like to run through. I've got my script done. The slides, that's just a matter of whoever's going to be doing the slideshow is how fast they click. So I'm not worried about the number of slides that I have. I think the information is a little bit more important. And besides, I think I only have 4 slides. But what I'd like to do is go through my script. We'll time it, and then from there, I'd like you guys to all give me some critique about it.
Right.
I did it a couple of times, and I was like 3.5 minutes, and I really don't know where I would want to edit anything out. So if you guys are okay with that, maybe that could be a starting point for us.
Okay, just yeah, I agree. Any one of us, I don't have the narration written for my section on dwellings, but I'd like to try just kind of winging it, scrolling through my slides, just with you guys. And then that'll give me a sense when I write the actual script for it. And you guys can time me, and I'll control the speed of the slides as I go along. So it'll be very crude, very crude, but at least it'll give me a sense of where I'm at. The other thing is, I want to run through the introductory slides for this. Now, I know everybody's going to look and say, they're going to say, oh, we got too many slides, and we probably do. But remember, everybody's been working in their silo on their individual part of this. For Penny and Stephen or anyone else watching this video or slideshow, they need to know certain things. Like they need to know where the hell this place is. It has to be situated in their mind. We have to describe the property. It's too bad Alex isn't on this call. I don't know why, but we're going to have to also go over the map of the community design and the roads and stuff like that. And, you know, and then we drill down into the details that each one of us has worked on. And you're right, we're going to have to edit all of that back, and I'm happy to do that. But so what we're starting off with is kind of like when you, let's say it was a marble sculpture, you know, at first you do the rough part of the sculpture, and then you work your way down to the fine chisels and the sandpaper. So we can always cut more off. And I suspect everyone's going to be a little long, and then we'll have to work to, you know, each whittle down our sections so that they fit. And we'll do it. I'm confident. There's no doubt we'll get it under 20 minutes. It just may take a little back and forth to get there. Am I taking it that Justin and Angela, you don't feel you're at the point now where you want to do a dry run of narrating today? You would rather do that tomorrow or something, which is fine with me.
I just haven't written the script. I could do it if we want to.
Justin, you're sounding very far away.
Can you turn your volume up, or really cannot discern your words?
Is this better?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think it was using this little cheap microphone or something. Yeah, I was just saying that I could do it if we want to run through it as a group and see how long. But I just haven't gone through it myself. I haven't written the formal script yet, so I don't know if there's
That's
much
fine.
value to it. But yeah,
we're not going to judge you. It's just kind of getting the vibe, and
Right.
and it's good practice too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm almost done this thing, and then we can go right into it. Sorry, guys. I was just finishing this before our call started. Yeah, okay, and then I'll say read slide. Okay, I've done what I needed to do. Okay, do you want to, who wants to go first here? Do you want to go first, Joey? And by the way, are your slides already loaded into the online presentation or not?
Yes, I'm just sitting here. Let me see.
Tell me what numbers they are, and then I'll share my
56 through 60, basically.
Okay, so it starts with the fish picture.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go in slideshow mode, but I'll share my screen so we can all look at these slides while you're reading. And just say the word next when you want me to go to the next slide.
Okay, so I'm laughing at myself first, so feel free to join in. I have my Word document up on my computer screen that's got my script, and I don't know how to set up like a split screen thing where I can see the slideshow. So I'm not going to be able to tell you where to do this, but I think you get the gist of it because there's only the 4 slides.
Okay, why don't you just read your thing at a natural pace,
Right,
and I'll try to kind of guesstimate when to switch images.
Perfect.
All right. I want to do the slides. Can someone else keep time, please?
I'm just about, I'm setting that up right now. Hold on a second.
Yeah, but Justin or Angela should also keep time so that you're not having to keep one eye on the clock. You can keep your eye on the clock, but I just mean we want to have a somebody separately tracking that.
Tell me when anybody's ready.
Yeah, I can keep time.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay,
Hold on. So before you start, should I give you like a 15-second warning, or do you want me to just keep quiet until you're done?
nope, just say that when you're ready to hit the start button on your timer.
Okay.
I'll say go. 1, 2, 3, go.
All right.
Hi, my name is Joey Poteet, and I reside in the Finger Lakes region of Western New York State. My primary focus for the Thrive All Community Design Project was to source water and develop a collection and distribution plan. With the principles of permaculture in mind, we surveyed the property and we discovered 5 sources of water, which include an existing well that currently services the existing house, Sturtles Creek, which has a very light flow through the property, a beaver pond, which is spring fed, and rain and snowfall. Thrive All anticipates approximately 250 residents living in dozens of dwellings. We discerned that the lay of the land didn't allow for all to source water from a single body of water, such as the existing creek or the beaver pond, even if we were to use earthen mounds to create a reservoir with enough shoreline to accommodate those dozens of houses. Further, the creation of that large of a reservoir would isolate the northern and southern halves of the property from each other. We then looked at average annual rain and snowfall amounts for this region and calculated the potential yield based on standard calculations involving roof areas and cumulative inches of water falling from the atmosphere. The resulting calculations led us to the decision that the most cost-effective and efficient means of providing water will be utilizing rain and snowfall catchment on all buildings and the strategic placement of communal wells. Water catchment systems have a capacity of 12,000 gallons per year per dwelling of 2 people based on our calculations. This allows for each person to have access to 500 gallons of catchment water per month and then be supplemented by water from the drilled wells. Water will be pumped by hand pumps or via electric pumps if the homeowners elect to install enough solar power to accommodate those pumps. The catchment systems for individual dwellings will have 500-gallon tanks and will cost approximately $3,000 each. The catchment systems for the communal buildings will each have 5,000-gallon tanks. The drilled wells will be strategically placed to facilitate ease of service to the common buildings, pasture lands, and outdoor grow guilds. And there will be drilled wells within each of the neighborhoods, which will be used in concert with the water catchment systems. Each of these drilled wells will have an approximate cost of $25,000. This plan allows us to get into second and third phase development without having to utilize Sturtles Creek or the Beaver Pond. These resources will be held in reserve until the property is more developed, which will allow for a more precise placement of a pond that can be used as a reservoir or water for plant guilds or whatever needs may arise. The point is that the water plan addresses current development and allows flexibility for the future. And now on to whomever's next.
Okay, so stop the timer.
8:10-ish.
All right, I did a not too bad job of guessing where to change the slides, I think. I'll just give you my initial feedback. You will want to that was good, Joey. First of all, that was good. Your delivery was excellent. Yeah, that was fine. I suggest, just as this is being super picky, you might want to figure out, or I can show you how to blur the background. So when you're speaking, kind of like Justin has, just might be nicer to not see your living room, but that's up to you.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was just sitting here reading my script. I forgot that I may very well do that without the camera on. I don't know.
Well, no,
how to blur the background. Sure, that's fine. Yeah, I'd love to learn how to do that anyway.
All of us are going to, just like now, I don't know how it's showing on your computer, but all of us are going to be visible through the whole presentation. And we'll each have speaking roles. And in addition, my hope is that in addition to each person reading their part of the script, it'd be nice to hear some different voices for different parts, but we won't make it complicated. You'll have a chunk and then maybe one other chunk to read. One other comment, there's a few places where you're saying things that you won't need to say because they will already have been said. I'd have to go over it again, but to remind myself of that. But there are other places where, like,
I will email everybody. I'll send you an email with a Word document attachment that is my script.
yeah,
And then feel free to notate it wherever you want and send it back to me.
yeah, exactly. Like, for instance, one thing I would say is you say that there's going to be dozens of dwellings, but we very specifically say the community is designed for up to 150 dwellings. So we'll want to use that same language, and you might not even need to say that, but we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, that was great. It would be nice if we could shave like 20 seconds off that if possible, which I think we'll be able to do just for some of the redundancy that will be in there. I will have to decide later whether we're introducing ourselves and where we're from earlier in the presentation, here I'll go back where the pictures are. And then you don't need to introduce yourself during the actual presentation. So
Yeah, I think I would like to just roll right into the content for my part. Like, I don't want to go over who I am again. I think if we introduce ourselves at the beginning, that'd be good.
yeah, I want to kind of get the housekeeping things out of the way. So when we're talking about water or waste, we just go right into it. Did you want to take a stab, Justin, at your section?
Sure.
Just let me know where do your slides begin in here? If you give me a number.
Let's see, where's my...
I wonder what happened to Alex today.
Yeah, well, I just saw that in the email, our original plan was 11 a.m., but he said that he wasn't available from 10:30 to 1:30, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Well, at least we're making some progress here. And
Slide
this is
68.
60, and this is being recorded so he can look at it later.
Oh, and I moved yours, Justin, because I saw the agenda, which you probably figured out.
Yeah, no problem.
So then
Okay.
we're gonna do our like whatever the agenda is. So I think keep going with your practice, but it's like Joey, me, you, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, do we want to do that now? Do you want to go next, Angela?
No, go for it. I was just more like, because yesterday I switched your slides because of the agenda. No, go for it. And then I'll go after.
All right. Group.
Yeah, we can replace this with the nice kind of Native American graphic once you have that guy. We don't need to use this.
Oh yeah. I thought I had one for you. Anyway, there's one for you in there. I'll just move it once we decide what the order of these things is going to be. All right. Angela or Joey, can one of you keep time as well as Justin as he reads his script?
I will.
And Justin, just say next when you want me to switch the slide.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so I'll be partially winging it, but there goes nothing. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so now we'll talk about the waste. And the goal of the waste is to basically close as many loops as possible. So we want to make sure that any waste that we're using, we integrate that back into our system. So naturally, with a community of 200 plus people, there will be leftover kitchen scraps, there will be excrement and human waste. So we'll be using composting toilets for the majority of our homes. They'll have about 20-gallon tanks for biowaste, which will be easy to handle. They'll be easily removable, and we'll use the sawdust from the sawmill for the cover material to absorb the liquids and to make sure that there's no odor. We'll also have a community composting center, which is about 1,700 to 2,000 square feet, where we will use very large composting piles so that the heat will be generated through the winter. Next slide. So winter composting slide. Yeah. So we have some calculations on how much materials we're going to need in order to have these composting piles survive throughout the winter. So you can pause the video here if you want some more information on that. Next slide. We'll have to definitely take some safety precautions into our hands when we're dealing with when we're dealing with composting for cold climates using human waste. So there's a myth that pathogens can't be eliminated entirely from human waste in composting piles, but that's not true. So what we need to do is basically 4 steps. We need to make sure that we're using heat generating materials, fresh manure, coffee grounds, and kitchen scraps mixed with hot water to make like a hot compost tea are vital for keeping the compost piles nice and toasty. Insulation, so we can use wood chips from the sawmill, a wall of leaves, shredded paper, snow can actually act as an insulate if you use about a foot thick of a layer of snow around the compost pile, and a tarp on the cap to keep the heat in. Size and location is important. We want to make our compost piles as big as possible and unobstructed from the sun, and longer retention time. So we want to let these compost piles cook for 1 to 2 years rather than just a few months. And they will be quite hot in the summer, which will eliminate a lot of the pathogens. Next slide. I'm at 2.5 minutes already. So for the biodigester, we'll be building a structure that will enclose an indoor digester. It'll have glass windows on the south facing side to heat up the space. It'll have a thermal wall, so a wall made of cement, close to the digester that will trap in the heat and distribute it. And we'll also, next slide, we'll also be using tankless biogas hot water heaters with PEX tubes to circulate through the fermenter to make sure that we're keeping a hot temperature all year. And this will cost quite a bit of the biogas that's being produced through the winter, but we'll still be able to produce our effluents. Next slide. I think I might skip this slide entirely. The digester feedstock is composed of mostly human manure, kitchen scraps, and goat manure. Next slide. This one scrapped. Next slide. So our biogas product will be able to cook for about 30 minutes for 92 stoves, but what we're going to do instead is actually use this for a community center. So basically we'll be able to use the gas for all of our meals. Next slide. And the digestate will be enough to supply us for 10 to 15 vertical gardens if we want to use that digestate to grow the food for the vertical gardens. Otherwise, we can use that effluent for the greenhouse. The greenhouse is on site. And I might skip this part, but we'll see. That's my time.
Okay, so how long was that?
4 minutes, 20 seconds.
Yeah, okay. I would say right off the bat, Justin, you can talk faster. I think we all have a natural way of speaking. I know when I do interviews and podcasts, I listen to myself and I think, who's that Navajo they're interviewing? Because I think I speak a lot faster than I speak. But so I would suggest you could probably shave a minute off that. And when we do the actual thing, you don't have to really pause too much between the slides. Just keep talking and the slides will go clicking by. You're going to have to, I think you're going to have to take out certain details. Let me go back. Yeah, you spent a lot of time on this slide, and you
Right.
might be able with these ones, rather than getting into a lot of detail, you can just say, we're going to have a composting operation. It's going to take up this much space. It'll take X number of months for the stuff to be processed, and just keep it at a higher level, because I think it'll be understood by the teachers that they can always pause this to look at the detail. We don't, you can just, your actual words can be at a higher level. I think that's one way you could knock quite a bit of time off the presentation.
Yeah, I guess I could just kind of go over just the highlights here: heat generating materials, installation, size and location, longer retention time, and
Yeah,
just not going to the points.
Something like cold climate composting best practices.
Right.
Yeah, you could really, because I don't think they need us to go into, I know what you're doing though, because you put in all that time and do the calculations. You want to share that information, but you'll have to whittle that down. What do you think, Angela?
I agree. I would I would go high level about what areas really need to be talked about and know that there's going to be focused areas. And that's something I'm also trying to work on, is just pull the top level pieces that you really want to go through. And I would almost look at, and I don't know, you'll know your information better than me. Like, what do you think would be the most impactful if someone's to walk away with like 3 or 4 points after your piece, and just highlight those pieces as much as possible and go into details on only those.
And
Right.
and also real quick, while we're right here on this slide of the biogas digester, I probably would suggest that I don't need that think you need to go into the details of the construction and the how that system actually works mechanically.
Right.
That there's going to be glass windows south facing. They see that in the slide, so I think that would be enough there.
Yeah,
Right.
I would just say what the throughput is, how you do mention it, that I would just say,
Yes.
we can take the animal waste, the human waste, and the food waste, mix it together, and it'll generate X amount of biogas per day. And then that slide will go by real fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so why don't Angela, did you have something to read today, or did you want to wait?
Sure, I'll take a stab at it.
Okay, so direct me to your slides. What
60,
number?
61.
61.
Just a real quick, I'm sitting here looking at the clock, and
I'll get it done before the thing.
okay,
Was
just didn't want you to get interrupted midway.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Okay, yeah, you've got
Yeah.
you've got
Let's go.
7.5 minutes. Let's go. Okay, you just say next for each slide.
All right. Take a look.
I've got the timer going, so whenever you're ready.
All right. For our Thrive All community, we will be focusing solely on off-grid energy. This means that we will use only solar power, battery packs, and generators without leveraging Canadian utilities that are prevalent down the road. This is given the client's desires for the community. This does include significant upfront costs to install solar panels, set up battery packs, generators, and other materials to set up the infrastructure. We decided this particular mix of energy was best versus using other types like geothermal, which is tough given the area. It's dominated by Precambrian shield. On our land, we will leverage 3 different utility areas noted here and set up battery packs that focus on solar power in areas that have the most space or land. For example, in the southwest part of the land, which you'll see down here below, we will leverage our 1 acre of solar land and have, for example, 320 solar panels. Moving on into the energy costs, all energy costs, and I'm on slide 63, by the way, all
Okay.
energy costs and annual kilowatt needs are outlined for each of our homes and our communities, from the yurts and cabins and experiential homes to the community center and our vertical farms. In total, we have 12,040 square feet needed to heat per year on the community. With averages calculated with the annual needs, and this includes average temperatures of the winter and summer months, and as you can imagine, it's a bit snowy in the winter months, we will need an estimated 684,005 kilowatt hours per year. Solar panel costs here are roughly 1.1 million, while the minimum amount of battery pack needed to cover 10% of the community is about another 1 million. This is understood as a pretty significant upfront cost to run the community for a long-term cost savings. Slide 3. To see a more in-depth look at how off-grid battery works, you'll notice that we have multiple different pieces of the system that we will be installing on the land, from solar panels to battery packs to generators. On our next slide, we have our community center. 7,000 square feet, which we will leverage, 7,000 square feet that will need 624 panels. During the times when we do need other types of other types of heating, we will leverage a generator. You'll notice that this is in the blah, blah, blah part of the land, and I need to add that in. And last, we have our sauna. This will be run fully by wood used from our community. We have estimated we'll need 1 to 2 quarts of wood for 104 sauna sessions during the year, so everyone can stay warm and cozy during the winter months.
Excellent. All right. How long was that? Oh, I'm not hearing you. Joey.
2 minutes and 46.
Oh, what a pro.
Okay, so I know what I need to pull down, and that was my first go around. So I'm gonna actually pull down the first slide, which was a little too long, I felt. At least that's what I felt. And then the slide 63, I'm just going high level of the costs. Last question I have for you before everyone gives me feedback. Should I not talk about costs until economics, which by the way, this is the cheapest I could get on this, so just know that. Should I wait until the economics piece and pull out the money piece that I mentioned?
I thought that we had agreed we were going to do the individual economics as part of our presentation as opposed.
Okay, perfect. So
And
I did
then-
it right.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Okay.
That's right. And then Joey's going to create one final slide summarizing the bottom line for each area. Just one little
Who is? Excuse me?
Sorry, I misspoke. I meant Alex.
You just about gave me a heart attack.
Sorry.
Don't do that, guy.
And Joey's going to do all sorts of complicated graphics to go with different fonts. Angela, just for the community center, we now have a sketch of the community center that
Oh,
you
cool.
can replace this one with.
Yep.
I'll actually go show you that one right now.
Yep, I can do that right now. But any other comments on my presentation? I'm happy to do that slide.
No, I don't. The one comment that I would make, I don't know how to say this correctly. I don't know that we
anything.
need to
Feedback.
eliminate the number of slides because it seems to me we can like zip through slides much more quickly than necessarily what our speaking is going to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes the slides have information that they should be able to see while we're talking, even though it might be something a little bit different than what we're actually talking about. But I
That's
think they
right.
can
I remember
process-
I took a filmmaking course years ago. It was a video making course, and we made a music video, and I learned a very valuable lesson from that. We went out and we took all these shots and all these B-roll footage, and then the first cut that we made of the video, we matched the lyrics with the picture. So if it was, singing about horses, there's a picture of a horse. Jumping on the train, we had a picture of a train. And it was so stupid and boring at the end. We were so embarrassed. And so we recut the whole thing as a montage. Now this isn't a music video, obviously, but you can really think of what you're saying as a very separate piece from the content of the slide. So they sort of have to relate to each other, but they don't have to be tightly the same. So if you're looking for places to save time, then you can think of what do I have to say, and then have the slide scroll through. You know what I'm saying. All right. Anyway, I think you guys have done a great job. I'm feeling good about this. Okay, this is just going to be kind of a wild experiment here. But and I apologize for the background noise. I'm in a coffee shop. It's not too loud, but you'll hear a bit of stuff in the background. I'm going to go through what are currently slides.
There he is.
We're gonna run out of time, so I suggest we. Oh, hey, Alex, you're just in time for us to go. Let's go out of this session and sign back in, or just hang on for a sec. We're about to get kicked off.
We're going to still have the 4-minute thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for 4 minutes, unfortunately. But we've just been reading through our slides as a very dry run, Alex, and we're
Yeah,
all
cool.
a little bit long. Angela was quite close to her 2.5 minutes. I haven't done mine yet, but we'll do that when we come back. And I'm going to